Hello, thank you for coming back to my kitchen. You're very, very welcome as always. Today I'm making carrot, apple and walnut cupcakes. I got this inspiration from Davina's sugar-free cookbook. I feel as though I ought to reference this cookbook because the recipe I'm using today is very, very similar to her one, although I have changed a lot of the ingredients and I have changed the method. I've changed the ingredients in both the cake and the icing, but the inspiration was from this cookbook. So first we need to put our oven on. That's 180 degrees Celsius if you're electric, 170 if you're for fan, and 350 if you're Fahrenheit. And I filled the little tray with cupcake papers. These are the small ones, not the big muffin ones. So to begin with, I'm going to crack 2 eggs into the bowl. And add 85 millilitres of oil. Any vegetable oil will be fine. I've used rapeseed oil today. Then goes in 100 grams or 4 ounces of runny honey. Next I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cinnamon and half a teaspoon of mixed spice. And we'll just put that aside while we zest an orange. So I want the whole zest of this orange, and the pieces for the cake don't have to be tiny. We will be zesting another orange later for the icing, and the zest will have to be tiny for that. But for the cake, it doesn't have to be that tiny. And we just want the orange part of the orange. That's where all the oils and flavour are. Once that's done, we'll bring back the bowl and just pop all the zest into the bowl. And we'll whisk all that together. And if you've got any bits of orange on your whisk, like I have, just give them a little whisk around to get it off. So now we're going to set that aside and grate our carrots. We want 100 grams or 4 ounces of grated carrots. So I'll just peel these to start. And we'll grate them. And I'm grating them on the same side as I used for the orange zest. So that's quite fine for carrots. There. I'll just weigh to make sure and just pop those in the bowl. Next I'm going to peel and dice 1 apple and use the same chopping board. It's all going in the same bowl. And these pieces really do need to be quite small. And just put those all into the mixture too. And give that a good mix round, making sure all the apple is coated. Next we're going to chop 50 grams or 2 ounces of walnuts. And I toasted these this morning, so I put them in the oven for about 10 minutes on about 150, that's Celsius. Really until you can smell them. Once you can smell them, they're toasted, and it does make a difference in the flavour. We want these chopped quite finely. There, that's enough. We'll bring the bowl back and just put all the nuts into the bowl. Give that another quick mix around. And now we're ready to put the flour in. This is 125 grams or 4 ounces of self-raising wholemeal flour. Although this is wholemeal, I still like to sieve it, and anything that doesn't go through the sieve we'll just put in at the end. I find if you sieve flour it gets air into it and makes for a lighter cake. And also if we can break some of this up, it would be better. To this I'm going to add a pinch of salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, which I will bring my sieve back to sieve, and half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. And just give that a fold in. And all that remains to do is fill up our paper cases. And go around again, filling them about 3/4 of the way to the top. There, that's perfect, and they'll go in the oven for about 15 to 18 minutes. So my cupcakes would have 15 minutes and I think they're done. Oh, they smell and look delicious. So we'll just put them on a baking rack to cool down, and when they're totally cool, I'll come back and we'll make the cream cheese topping. So now for the delicious topping. In my bowl I'm going to put 50 grams or 2 ounces of very soft butter and 150 grams or 5 ounces of room temperature cream cheese. And we'll give that a quick whiz up. To this I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and I've got a nice organic maple syrup here. Don't use the cheap stuff. Has to be 100% maple syrup. And half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And give that another whiz up. And just set that aside, and we're going to zest another orange. This time we want the orange zested very, very finely, and this is the finest one I have. You want to avoid any bits being in the topping, just the flavour, that gorgeous fresh flavour. And once again I have orange fingers. My fingers are turning very orange today with all this orange and the carrots. So bring your bowl back and just scrape in the zest and give it a knock. And just give that another whiz up. Making sure you scrape down the sides of the bowl because we want all that orange zest hidden in the frosting. And then we just put the topping on. So just swirl the topping around. Again, big dollop on the top and just swirl it around. And if you have any left, just put it on the ones that don't seem to have so much. And again, just give a little swirl and it will look pretty. All that remains to do is pop a walnut, a half a walnut on the top of each, and just push it down slightly. And these walnuts were toasted this morning with the walnuts that I used inside the cake. They are looking very delicious. So just time to show you what they look like inside. I'll cut one in half. Oh, see the nuts and the apple. So nice. Thank you so much for watching today. And if you've enjoyed the video, give me the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again next week.